for most of the millennials and a few Gen Zs per se, we sat down to watch Tales by Moonlight. We saw really exciting programs on on TV, had a couple on radio, and even our storybooks actually had a lot of stories about folk tales and folklores all around the countries, the Gandokis of this world, the Shangos of this world. Just mention them. I think every state, every tribe in this country, every dialect at all, we all have our own folk tales and folklores, and it is something that actually transcends. So this has actually lived for generations, two generations and generations. And I'm telling you right now in the studio, we've got some amazing person out there who do not just believe in those things, but they've crafted a way and means in which they are going to introduce this to the general public as a way to educate everyone out there and to enlighten us. And I'm telling you right here in the studio with us today, we've got Ewuma Okoye and Martins Okoye live in the studio. Oloye, I beg your pardon. I am really, really sorry. Apologies. I am going to introduce myself. Introduce them once again. We have Ewuma Oloye and Martins Oloye. Oloye like a title in Yoruba land. Yes, Oloye. With the car and all of the monies and everything. Yes, you got that correctly. They are actually live in the studio today, and they are a brain behind this initiative titled African Folktale Jigsaw Puzzles. See, I've got my hands on it, and I promise you guys, you would want to have a piece of this thing. This is amazing, and it's not just Nigerian folktales. It encompasses folktales from different parts of the continent, from the Northern Africa to Southern Africa to the Bantu tribe, to the Marrakesh people of Morocco, to the Zulu people of South Africa, to the Mauma of Kenya. Just mention it. Different tribes, different languages, different cultures, and these particular puzzles are going to enlighten you. And then they're not just games; they are much more exciting than games. They are an exciting initiative, and the brains behind this project are here with us in the studio today. Hello and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you feeling? You guys are elated, and I like the spirit you've brought in today.
Yes. We are very excited to be here with you today.
Introduce yourselves, officially to our listeners out there.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Okay, so I am Ewuma Oloye, and I'm a co-founder of K2U Puzzles.
K2U Puzzles.
And putting it simply, it's a fusion of African folk tales and jigsaw puzzles.
Amazing.
So the power of African folk tales and the power of jigsaw puzzles together in one.
Beautiful. And to my right,
My name is Martins Oloye. I am a co-founder of K2U Puzzles also.
Okay.
Kindergarten to university for everyone.
And I would like to know, how did you guys come up with this idea? What motivated it?
So this started from a personal experience. We had some time, and then we began to think, how do we change the narrative in terms of the level of intelligence of the average Nigerian child? And we were looking at what is it that needs to be done differently that can create the kind of superhumans in terms of intelligence that we need. Is evident to everyone that cares to admit that over the years, the level of critical thinking and problem-solving abilities has been on a decline. And unfortunately, that is impacting on us negatively as Nigerians, as Africans. So what was it that we're going to do differently? And we came up with this. When you want to solve a problem, you actually go down to the roots and not attempt. You can't build a skyscraper from the top. You build it from the foundation. That's why we decided to go to something that we can impact children, and then it also now flows into the rest of society.
Mr. Martins, getting your idea into a reality, how Herculean was it? I would like to know what processes did you have to take, and how did you go about picking all of these stories, bringing them into one and making them a puzzle, and how I'm trying to know how you guys managed to go through all of these processes, and within a short period of time you've been able to gather stories from different parts of the continent. How did you go through it?
I would love to start by saying my degree of study at the university is History and Strategic Studies.
Ooh, okay. What institution?
University of Lagos. So for about 5 years, 4 years, and the way the Nigerian system works.
Yeah, of course.
I was bent doing and had to do all of that on one side. So But it's something that also pushed us. It was not easy. It was actually very difficult. When you look at where we're coming from, it's something because we're on radio, she tried not to say. So we're trying to build superhumans, build winners, build people that have empathy. And let me tell you why. The personal experience she's saying, just 2 of them were cases where we lost people.
That's
in situations that could actually be avoided manageably. So you look at all the system. So we're not pointing fingers at anyone, but it was avoidable. Circumstances that we can't share on radio. So when we are talking about loss of lives, we're just like, okay, what can we do differently? And she said we can build from the top. For me, it's like you want to, you look at the situation of an egg, you break it from outside, life ends. It breaks from inside, life begins. So we need to just go down there and start, with the children and find a way to build national intelligence. Because when we get to a part, I believe you're going to ask that question, why are we choosing jigsaw puzzles? You see why we have to look for that particular. It's difficult, but we have to do it. So
which is exactly my next line of question. Why jigsaw puzzles? Why not maybe TV programs or radio programs? Why not articles and magazines of newspapers and all of that? Why jigsaw puzzles?
So I'll start with a few beautiful things about the benefits of jigsaw puzzles that most people don't know. I'll run through them. Just out of so many of them, I'll read just line by line. I'll say it. It's like a form of mental exercise. It is good for visual spatial reasoning.
That's correct.
Greater attention to detail for people that are suffering with children that have ADHD
or autism.
Yes, that's part of it. We actually use it for some foundations. We use it to support them. There's greater attention to detail, like I said, improved memory, improved IQ, backed by research that on the average, if you spend 25 minutes on jigsaw puzzles, when you check your IQ again, when you are tested, the child or the person would have the IQ improved by at least 4%, which is a lot, 4%. So there's improved problem solving ability. So the critical thinking, cognitive ability gets better. Now, you said something that why not the TV screens and everything. So this is a break from the norm. We have a huge problem on our hands where children are always on the screen. Is a departure from the screen. A simple research online will show you why everyone is saying take away the screens from these children. It's giving them dopamine. It's as dangerous as smoking, drinking, and drugs. Go through the researches and you research. You will be shocked at what. That's why some videos are online. You take the screen from the children, you see the way they behave. Adults are impressionable. How much more children? So we don't want to get them addicted. So there's increased productivity. There's concentration and deep critical thinking. It improves mood, decreased stress. There's so many of it, but we have to choose. Now, there's a part of it which also we're looking at making it fun, and while they're trying to learn all of these things, it should be fun to them. That's where we came about the African folklore part of it. All the stories of Africa. For our listeners from everywhere, the one that everyone will remember is Gogogwaungwa. Story for if you're in the north, just ask the children, Gaitana, most of these children don't even know. They can't even answer because our parents, the new parents now, the Gen Z parents, just give the child the screen. It is very dangerous, not so good because it's not helping them to develop. Most of these children, the frontal lobe is not well developed. We won't go deep into that detail. So we now have to look for those stories. For the Yoruba folks, you have all those beautiful stories, Aja, Duro, Romileru, all of them put together. So we have African folklore, and there's something we've been able to do. We are the only one, and we'll be touched to say that has not just jigsaw puzzles and you put pictures together, but at the back of each puzzle, you have the African stories. For instance, one of our beautiful stories is the story of the Ananse from Ghana.
Spider.
You see? So, pot of gold, sky god, and everything.
I mean, of course, I used to be glued to the TV and I read a lot of, books back in the day. So, of course, I've noticed this.
All of those stories. If you read Elechi Amade's books, apart from the popular ones like Things Fall Apart,
yes.
of Chinua
Achebe,
other books like Elechi Amade and all of those beautiful stories, those are the things that created what we had. And we are trying to make sure we don't have a stark departure from those things. So that's why we chose jigsaw puzzle and how we're doing it.
I'm seeing how far you guys have gone and how much important this is to not just to you, but how much importance it's going to be to the general public out there. I want to know, how far have you gone in trying to get support for what you've been doing and how to, make it available to kids and societies and schools around us, because this should be the target audience for schools in primary and secondary schools. Yes, secondary schools I would mention. Even a lot of adults in university are not really conversant with some of these stories. And I think yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend about how the reason why we find ourselves in certain situations because we have a long line of undocumented history. And having these puzzles available to everyone is going to go a long way in bridging that gap. So I want to ask you guys, how has the support been from your friends, your close families, and how do you intend to promote this book, these puzzles in front of you?
So I'll say the support has been very, very wonderful for those that have encountered us. From our family and our friends, definitely, it has been 150%. I would say, if anything is more than that, is more. We have also worked with several individuals. We are currently partnering with a foundation who is focused on children in primary schools. We've partnered with them, Robert's Charity Foundation. We are working with them to see how we can make the puzzles available. We are in touch with government and policymakers in different states of Nigeria who are very interested. The minute they see the benefits of jigsaw puzzles coupled with the benefits of our folk tales that have been gradually disappearing, they are ready, to work with us. So we have received a lot of support, more coming. We just returned from Makurdi, where we visited one of the IDP camps. It was a wonder to behold.
Amazing.
The way the children, embrace the puzzles. In fact, the way that state government was represented. We had 2 commissioners present.
Amazing.
At that place, the commissioner for humanitarian and the commissioner for education. We also had the state government represented ably by the secretary of the state government in that same place. That's to tell you how they see the value.
How welcoming
they are of this initiative. We still have a long way to go.
Of course.
Since we started, we have been on a course. We call it Project 1 Million.
Project 1 Million.
And that is to reach a minimum of 1 million Nigerian children with our jigsaw puzzles. Sounds like a huge task and very daunting.
But very achievable.
And the interesting part? That's just about 2% of the population of children. So it tells you that it's just going to be a scratch. But at least we need to start from somewhere. In addition, we have received support because these jigsaw puzzles, in them alone, it answers 3 of the SDG goals. SDG 4, SDG 10, and SDG 11. We talk about quality education, inequalities in the communities, and so the puzzles alone solve multiple issues just in one box of puzzles. Like you rightly said, the stories have been disappearing, and with the stories, our power. Why? That's who we are. It's our identity. It's our heritage. It's important that we ensure that our children know who they are, where they are coming from. The long line of power, the long line of the information that is going away. They know this is who I am, this is what we stand for. The morals. Every story has, now, when they give you stories, at the end of the day, what would they ask you? What did you learn?
Moral of the story.
Moral of the story. Every puzzle story has a moral lesson that is teaching. So, in addition to the benefits of jigsaw puzzles, we now have the benefits of the African folktales. So as we are improving and developing cognitive abilities, we're also improving and developing values and ethics.
Mr. Martins, you have a couple of things to contribute.
Yeah, I just want to add, like someone said, if you give this couple 10 hours, they'll keep going on and on. Things we see on the road. So I needed to just add, readers are leaders. Our children no longer want to read because of the problem of the social media and everything. So we've made these stories to be in short bursts. Imagine going through the whole of Africa, those places that you mentioned, Shona, everyone, Zimbabwe and everything. A lot of people don't even know Simba actually means lion. Simba means lion in Swahili. So with our stories, you pick a story, you can actually briefly It may not be enough, but at least you know the basic things. Like you mentioned that you love an answer. Now, the creativity that comes with it. Whenever you put together jigsaw puzzles, which is from research, you are engaging both sides of the brain. The right side, which is for creativity, for wonderful things like the things we're doing, oratory and the rest, Then the left side at the center, which is for logic. So you are ambidextrous. You are doing something so wonderful. So the solutions is not just for the beauty and family bonding and take the children out of the school from it. We're actually really, really interested in improving national IQ. That's why most of the people, when you ask for support, we know some private schools that said, where have you been? So we know some schools that now have puzzle time in their school. So and is reflecting. There is research proven in some places in the world. I know very well of Italy and places that jigsaw puzzles in particular helps with literacy and numeracy. So actually, if you want to get children better in mathematics, it helps. It also helps with short-term memory. So it's like a loop. We're getting better every day. It's a lot. Like I mentioned, if you allow us, we'll say so much, but we've had support. I'm sure you are loving what you are hearing.
Absolutely, I'm engrossed. Anyways, I would like to know, for the listeners out there who, of course, are picked interest in what we're saying right now, how do they get access to these puzzles? How do they lay their hands on them, and how much do they cost?
So right now we are expanding on the distribution network. So we have someone two distributors in Abuja here, since we're in Abuja, and we noticed something while we were working. For now, what we've done is to make sure that these puzzles are the cheapest, not in value, the most affordable. Cheapest is not the right word. Affordability. So we're like 50% on the shelf, so that the average person, I don't like using the word poor, but somebody that will look at it and say, may I use this money buy bread? So that's just 2 loaves of bread. Why not manage it and get this thing? 3,000 for 64-piece puzzle, because we're reintroducing that culture back into people. So we have bigger ones, 100, and but this one you can start with it, and also for children. So let me just buy this and see the difference, the impact on the children. The lovely part is that, which we also get feedback from parents and schools, is that you see the children done with it, the next day it's exciting again, because even as an adult you do it, try and do it again, it won't be the same thing. So it's like you are hot-wiring, your brain is hot-wired like artificial intelligence. Every time you do it, you get better and it gets improved. And there's a sporting part of it, which when you have the time, we'll talk about it, but it's a competition we're also doing to make it actually something that children look forward to. We've started holding competitions in places. But let me wait for your next question. I see
All right.
You are
of course. So you say you have 2 distribution agents in Abuja already, and what bookstores can we find these books, or how and where can we get these books? And do you have an online presence where people can reach out to you to get more details on this?
It's actually easier to just drop a message on our social media platform.
Okay, what's the platform?
K2U.
K2U puzzles.
K2U _puzzles online.
Okay.
You'll see us.
K2U _puzzles, right?
Yes, we're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Same name. Yeah. K2U _puzzles. Yes. Underscores available in every of the monikers on Instagram, YouTube. Yes. Okay.
So when you get that, you can get every other information, including the website that we are still working on. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to say www. I know the website.
Okay, the
talk and Nigeria we did together. Now we for top. So from there you can always get to all other platforms that we have, including the website, YouTube, and everything. So K2U _puzzles.
And before we go, I would like to ask one more question. How have you had to deal with piracy since you started this?
It's easy to do now. Because the thing is, when she mentioned SDG 4, 10, and 11, because we know the UN Charter, we know all the I think 17 SDGs, and we are trying to make sure that we keep it in-house. Why am I saying that? We need to ensure that we have job security. So we're doing it in-house. We're not doing it from outside. It's made in Nigeria, number one. Number two, it's actually really difficult to get to that price. You're going to do a lot of work. So
going to do a lot of work.
Piracy is against the law. This is an education thing. Our target is impact. We We just want impact.
Their target is impact. Guys, it's been an amazing, Saturday afternoon having to discuss with this guy, Ewoma Oloye and Martins Oloye. And of course, their initiative is called African Folktale Jigsaw Puzzles. A really exciting, conversation we've had here on the program. And I tell you, these puzzles are good for kids, for adults, for everyone. And I would really, really, really inquire you guys. I would really appreciate if people out there can check out this check out the handles online, K2U Puzzles, on all platforms, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and yes, on YouTube, like I mentioned earlier, on Facebook as well. And it helps improves memory, improve IQ, it creates empathy for kids, because yes, like they mentioned earlier, cognitive abilities get better when you familiarize yourself with these puzzles. It go a long way, and help develop the prefrontal lobes as well, because for kids, their amygdala can get out of hand and overreact. So having improved frontal lobes is going to have everyone develop out there, and we have amazing kids turn out to great adults in the public right there. Oloye and Ewoma, please, Martins and Ewoma, what are your final words before we allow you guys to go for today?
For me, I don't want individual champions. I want a situation where, as a country, our national IQ is improved and we have millions of people whose cognitive abilities can make this country better.
Amazing.
For me, in addition to those powerful cognitive abilities across the country, we need to remember who we are and work in the power of who we are as Nigerians, as Africans, and that we will know when we know our history.
It's been an amazing Saturday afternoon having you guys live in the studio today. What a great way to start my return from the leave, and I really must say I appreciate your input on this program. And yes, do you have any phone lines people can reach out to you out there if you want them to call you and ask for more details about this? If you have a phone number, please call out the number. For Abuja.
One moment, please. So while she's searching for the numbers, there's K2U competitions coming up everywhere, popping up everywhere.
Okay.
We're going to places and getting children to compete against each other. It's been amazing. You see some of it on our pages. It's a lot.
It's a lot. I'm looking forward to it already. I'm really looking forward to it already. So for those out there who want to get these puzzles from your agent, please can you call out a particular number where they can reach out to? Okay, the two agents. Yes.
So we have one number here: 080 34 93 81 39.
Okay, call it once again.
080 34 93 81 39.
Okay, and the second agent?
And the second number.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. K2U Puzzles on all platforms. Do not forget K2U Puzzles on all platforms. And I tell you, you guys are going to have an amazing time going through what they have in store for everyone out there. It's not just for kids. Puzzles are meant for everybody. It helps improve cognitive abilities. And yeah, the second number.
The second number 07 05 63 51 63 8.
All right, once again.
07 05 63 51 63 8.
All right, thank you so much for calling out the numbers and contributing to the program today. Anyways, guys, we'll be going for a very, very short break, and when we come back, we are going to resume with an electrifying segment of the program, guys. Go nowhere. You are listening to the voice of the incredible Kaigo, the Glazer extraordinaire. Guys, stay tuned. I'll be back.